Hey guys, happy Thursday. Sorry it's been so long since I have updated you, about 14 days since I've updated you. I've been doing a lot of research on glioblastomas and talking to a lot of different research institutions and doctors about what's available to me. So I did start chemo and radiation on the 6th of July. So my radiation is 5 days a week for 6 weeks. My chemotherapy will be 7 days a week for a year starting out. So that's a long time. So I noticed before I had been talking a lot about the positive things and the positivity and everything I'm going through, which I believe in the power of positivity. I think it's so important. I think it's important for me to keep staying positive throughout this whole process. But also I want my updates to be informative for people too, and to spread awareness of cancer and of glioblastoma and of brain tumor specifically. And today I want to focus and talk about the ugly sides of cancer that you might not hear about or know about. And I want to do that because I know there's people out there who might not have the knowledge I do as a healthcare professional to be able to advocate for themselves or to know the right questions to ask their doctors. And so in my future updates, I'm going to focus more on that. And today, I'm going to focus on all the ugly sides of cancer. So we'll talk about my radiation mask for one. So it is like a tight fencing mask that you put on your face, and they strap you onto a table and you can't move your head. I mean, if you have claustrophobia, good luck. But it leaves this waffle print on your face, except someone told me it looked like scales one day and that I look like a mermaid, and we're going to roll with that. But yeah, that's not so fun. That's not pretty. Another ugly part of this is when you're taking multiple medications at the same time in conjunction with each other, you get constipation. So that is what I'm dealing with right now. 9 days strong, TMI. Not pretty. Let's see, not being able to drive. Huge downfall. I'm a very independent person. The reason I can't drive is because I had what's called a speech attack seizure when I was first diagnosed with the brain mass. That is how they took me to the ED. I couldn't speak. They think it was a speech attack seizure, which makes sense because of the size and location of my tumor in the left frontal temporal lobe, responsible for different aspects of speech, language, memory, judgment, problem solving, all of those things. So since I had a documented seizure in my chart, in the state of Virginia, I'm not allowed to drive by law for 6 months. I'm also on anti-seizure medication called Keppra, and I went to a seizure specialist. I asked her how long I will be on Keppra. She said 2 years minimum, and probably for the rest of my life. So went from taking no medications to now medications that I'll be dependent on. So tough news to swallow, right? But you know, again, that's okay. That's something that I can live with. If I'm seizure free for 6 months, again, I can drive. The law doesn't state anything about being on anti-seizure medication. Okay? Fatigue. That is a huge side effect of being on chemo and radiation. So, you know, some days I walk from the living room to the kitchen and I'm so tired, I have to take a 2-hour nap. Okay? Other days, I can take a walk around the block, you know? Other days, I can walk to the parcel box and mail out some letters, you know? So it's different every day, and it's going to change as my treatment goes on for longer periods of time. But that is a huge symptom that people experience, especially with the oral chemotherapy medication that people with brain tumors have to take, because that is the only FDA-approved medication, Temodar. Okay? Hair loss and hair thinning is another side effect of chemo and radiation. Luckily, I had a lovely woman named Cheryl at Planet Hair make my wig, so hopefully picking up my wig sometime soon, next week. That is a little hot and makes my scalp itchy, but hey, at least I have it, right? Something to keep me excited and give me something to do. You know, curling my hair, straighten my hair. I was sad that I wouldn't be able to do that anymore, and I can, because we have wonderful people like Cheryl out there helping people and making wigs. Okay. Diet restrictions. Okay, so on chemotherapy, you're immunocompromised, meaning you can't be around people recently vaccinated. You can't be around people who are sick. You can't be around children. You can't garden unless you're wearing gloves. You can't eat sushi or oysters, which is my favorite thing because they're raw. So all of this is because of the nausea it can induce and because of the bacteria involved with all of those things. So when you have immunosufficiency and your platelet counts are low and things like that, I'm very susceptible to getting sick myself. So I have to be extremely careful, especially with COVID going on. One of the drugs I'm taking, Bactrim, makes my skin very sensitive to light especially. So I have to wear long sleeves, long pants, hats when I go outside, and 90-degree weather in Richmond, Virginia. So love this city. Hate that side effect. So, you know, and the biggest side effect that I'm dealing with right now is anger, because of my headaches and the pressure that's happening in my head constantly, which is caused by inflammation from the radiation treatment. My doctor said if my headaches continue, I'll be put back on steroids, so I'm trying to avoid that, but it could happen. And he also told me in his words that my brain is angry because of where the tumor was in my frontal lobe, because of the inflammation and the pressure. So that's causing me to be angry, because it is literally causing that center of my head to feel angry. So I am angry. And I lose my temper quickly, and I'm sorry in advance for people who have to listen to me yell or knock over a trash can or whatever I have to do. But I've learned too throughout this process that I need to do what I have to do and let myself feel what I'm feeling. And you know, it has been hard on me emotionally and physically, and you know, I'm exhausted, so I've got to feel all those things and let them happen. So you know, thank you to everyone who has let me feel those things and who has been there for me every step of the way, and for all the support I have, and for the army of people who are still supporting me, because I guarantee you guys I would not be able to make it through this without you. So I appreciate all the love and support. Please don't stop. Keep praying for me. I'm still fighting. I'm still trying to be strong for me and for everyone else who has ever had a glioblastoma. So I'm going to sign off here. I've been rambling on long enough. Still trying to decide between the two clinical trials I mentioned in the last update, the focused ultrasound or the capitam. So I will keep you guys updated on that, but for now, we're just focusing on the standard treatment, the chemo and radiation, until I can figure out which option is going to be the best for me, for clinical trial-wise. All right, thanks for listening. I hope everyone has a great rest of their Thursday.